Hi everyone, today is February 23rd and I'm sitting in my new kind of grow area. As you can see, the new lights are up. Catch that video, will be coming out soon. But anyway, I'd like to talk to you about my plans for the market garden this year. As you know, if you've been following my videos, there's chunks of the summer of 2014 and 15 that are missing as far as videos, and that's because I got hurt and then I re-injured myself again and then again, and so on. So I didn't make any videos. This year I plan to document as much as I can, mainly for my own use, but also to share with you guys. But for 2016, I'm going to be going back to the same market, growing the similar way as I did last year. And I have my clipboard here, some of the things here, if you can see that all right. I have lots of notes, different spreadsheets I make, this, that, the other thing, and all quite messy stuff. But I found last year doing it, if I didn't take any notes last year, I would have been fine, and I was fine. But the notes that I did take and the videos that I made weren't a good kind of reference for me for this year. I kept looking back through pictures and some of my notes, which I had very few actually written down in videos, about when I started certain things and approximately what my germination rate was, and this, that, the other thing. Now this year I'm going not high tech, but I made these spreadsheets. I showed you. I have a couple of them here. This one as far as like how many plants I want to grow for the market for myself, seedling wise, this, the other thing. I'll run down that in a minute. But the market I'm going to this year is the same one I attended last year, and I thought it was fairly successful for being new at the market. Now going into the 2016 season, I'm really hoping things pick up and I can sell or make twice as much money as I did last year. Now in the terms of making money is kind of not necessarily the right word to say, because I put everything plus some back into the garden and back into supplies for this coming year, especially new pots, new containers, the greenhouse, the tall greenhouse that I built, which I have a series of that earlier on in my channel from last fall. And that cost me quite a lot. To run electricity, to run water, the plastic, the whole 9 yards. It costs a lot of money for that. And I'm hoping to make that back this year and then some, because I have big plans for the long greenhouse. I'll get into that later. So anyway, I want to jump right into it here. It's a little bit of an overview of some of my plans for the summer to go on. So as far as the market goes, that's what I grow for. I don't necessarily grow for myself because there's a few things I don't like and I can't, other people in the area don't like or what have you. So I don't really grow for myself. I grow a lot of things that I'll be going over here for myself in terms of canning it or pickling it that I can then sell at the market or sell here at the farm. Now I'd love to get into doing more chickens. I'd love to have 50, 75 chickens and sell eggs at the market, but I can't. You need all sorts of different paperwork and regulations, and it's actually a pain in the butt to be certified to sell eggs where I'm at a farmer's market. I can sell them here at the farm without a problem, without any type of paperwork. But as soon as they leave the farm property, you have issues. Anyway, so I just want to go over real quick what I'm growing. And I'm not going to go over varieties, I'm just going to go over pretty much the basics. I'll start at the top, just somewhat in order. I got your yellow and your green beans. You got beets, broccoli, cabbage, cantaloupe, carrots, cauliflower, sweet corn, different types of cucumbers, eggplant, garlic, gourds, kale, and then my lettuce and greens, which has things like arugula in it, green and red mizuna, green and red lettuce, different things like that. I got mustard greens again. I'm going to try okra again. It's a southern vegetable, but there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to grow it up here. And then I got red and yellow onions. I got my peas, my sugar snap peas, which to me, if I can grow them out as well as I did last year, and just out of a longer time, that's a big cash crop for me. Peppers, lots of different types of peppers. Potatoes. Now potatoes, if you can kind of remember, I don't believe I've grown them in 3 or 4 years, because of the potato beetle and this, that, the other thing. So I'm going to try to I'm going to plant 100 pounds this year. I might get 2 different kinds because I can get them in 50 pound bags of sweet potatoes. So I might get 2 kinds for something different, and we'll see what happens. Pumpkins again, radishes, spinach, lots of different summer squash and zucchini. I have written down here 6 different varieties of summer squash. Same thing, winter squash. I have 2, 4, 6. I have 9 different types of winter squashes. Winter squash did well, especially things like acorn squash. They did exceptionally well as far as selling them at the market. Even if I had to buy some in, to sell, to kind of supplement what I had, it still worked out. Then I got sunflowers, Swiss chard, lots of tomatoes, and again, watermelons. So that's pretty much every vegetable that's out there as far as types, or I should say, different main things. However, I'm also doing my herbs again. I put in an order for my herb plugs, and I'm also going to be growing herbs, things like basil and dill, and your annual type things that actually aren't as hard to grow, because especially basil. The plugs I bought last year, they were great, but I paid $1.50 for a plug, and when I'm always selling them for $3, if you count the soil, the time, the cost of the container, I'm only making like $1.20 or something on it. It's not worth it. But if I can grow basil, say I can grow 50 basil plants for next to nothing, less than $1 for 50 of them. Say I grow them say each of them are 10 cents, and I can sell them for $3. That's 30 times, what it cost me, which is good. But then the other plugs like sage, rosemary, things like that, I am buying in. More of your kind of woody plants I'm buying in, just because I don't have the time to try to take cuttings. I don't have any mother plants. I may save some other plants this year. One of the rosemary, say a sage, say a mint, and just pot them up in a big container, leave them in the greenhouse, and then in the wintertime bring them in and then take my own cuttings to try to sell, and just try to minimize the cost. But I figure that the things that I have to spend money on, the herbs, mainly as far as what I get versus the return, it brings people in, and I make my money on other things like the beans and the peas, which don't cost very much up front, and I can sell them for $5 a quart, or $5 for a 600 gram bag, and things like that. And I'm just going through my list. I've been taking tons of notes here. Let me see if I can find one kind of easy here to kind of go over. Let me just check this out. Like here, I have, where we at? Here's for, okay, here we go. These here, this is seedlings that I'm growing for the market. It's not like it's not that intricate here, but like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, I've written down I'm going to do 18 of each. Tomatoes, I'm going to do 150, 140 tomato plants. Peppers, same thing, about 90 to 100. Then I got things like lettuce, kale, Swiss chard, where I do them in little 4-packs and sell them for $2-3. And even things like sweet corn. I'm gonna do sweet corn. I'm gonna plant sweet corn in 4-packs. Last year I didn't think selling. I used bulb transplants, like little bulbs for my onions and garlic. And last year I put them in a 12-pack, just thinking, hey, I'm trying to make a couple bucks. Not that I needed to, but just something else, and people bought that up like that. Same thing, that I sold a whole flat of purple and green bush beans. I had little 4-packs, or 13 4-packs fit in a standard flat, if you can kind of visualize that. You're gonna hit maybe 2 or 3 seeds in each flat, and I sold like the whole flat to them for like $15. And the containers were free because I used them from something else. The flat was maybe, I don't know, 20 cents, 30 cents. I buy in bulk, so what cost me less than $1 to $2, I sold for $15. And I know it doesn't seem like a lot of money, but it adds up. And even here I have seedlings. This is a more accurate list of, I don't know if you can read any of those, as far as what I'm going to seed for the market, how many, and then the other sheet I have is when I'm doing it. So all these things are going to be taking place within the next 2.5 months, and I'm really excited. So definitely once I start doing seeding and have them under my light table here and the other light room there, I'll be making a lot more videos. But anyway, not to ramble on, but that's kind of an overview of the season. Hit it hard with seedlings in the beginning, do herbs again, and then try to hit it real hard at having something unique every week, whether it's having peas instead of having for 3 weeks, have them for 8 weeks. You know, same thing with beans, bush beans. Sweet corn is going to be another thing this year. I'm trying to plant it through my weed barrier, through my plastic grow seedlings. I'm going to be growing 2,000 seedlings to plant. It seems like a lot, but if you turn around and you, I don't know, a dozen is 12 years, so 1,200 dozen is 100 years. You sell them for $6, or 100 dozen is $6 a dozen. That's 600, 700 bucks. Multiply that out, you're talking to make, you know, $800, $900, and then just for doing seedlings. And again, these are all things that are potential income. I could show up at the market and say there's another new vegetable vendor, and it cuts all my stuff in half. And if that happens, I may look to try to do another market, or try to sell more at the farm. And if worse comes to worse, I feed what I want to the chickens that like the leafy greens and the lettuces and stuff, and then the rest I take down to my local food bank. So that way the stuff isn't being wasted, where I can't use the can or don't want to eat myself or can't give away to neighbors or whatever. I take down to the food bank, and that seems to work out really well. I'm not sure how many 100 pounds of stuff. So it works out good. So stay tuned for more. Have a great season coming up. Thanks for watching.